So we can kind of get going here. Just to a quick introduction to kind of do a little icebreaker. I'm Ulysses. I live in Tampa. The first Rays game I ever went to was in 1998. I was a Yay kid at 7 years old. They played the Twins, and they won somehow. So we can go around the room and kind of introduce ourselves. Kevin?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. First of all, let me correct you, Ulysses. You are no longer in Tampa. Okay,
You're
location
right.
matters. You're just north of Tampa. You are
North
not
of Tampa.
within
North Tampa.
city
Right.
proper. Yes, you could be where a stadium might be in the future. Who knows? We never know these situations.
I dig that.
Yes. Of course, I'm Kevin Weiss. I do live in Tampa. I guess the city limits right now. My first Rays game, actually, my first ever Rays game was a spring training game against the Twins in, I think, 2008, the playoff year.
Wow.
So that was at the Fort Myers spring training facility.
Right.
Yeah. And, of course, been going to games ever since and enjoying the moment. So I've still got to get on Ulysses's level with all the Rays gear. He outnumbers me in Rays gear probably 100 to 1. I don't know. I'm way behind on all that stuff.
I think that the next two probably have us beat, which is Carlos and Melissa. But
yes, that is true as well.
Maybe.
You guys can go ahead.
Well, I'm Melissa.
Carlos, obviously.
And we live in Apopka, which is a suburb of Orlando. And we went to our first Rays game, I think probably in like 2011. It was opening day, and they were playing the Yankees, and somebody was a Yankee fan at the time, and the Yankees lost, and the entire section and myself started booing Carlos.
They booed me.
no.
As the Yankee fan, so that was a lot of fun, and we've been going to opening day ever since. And yeah, we do have a lot of Rays gear between hats and just all the stuff you get at the games and everything. A lot of stuff.
So my first Rays game was in, I think, 03 or 04. And my roommate at the time, and I think I was just a few years out of college, but my roommate at the time was, he's from up north, so he was a big Red Sox fan. And at that time, I was a Yankees fan because I had grown up that way. And I'm my parents are, after they came to this country, went to both coasts. So it was New Jersey in the summer or it was LA in the summer. So I got a lot of Dodger Yankee exposure, but my uncle was a huge Yankees fan. So he would sit me with him when he had to watch me and make me watch those games. So, and to date myself, like we're talking Reggie Jackson days, late Reggie Jackson days, and then and then moving into like later on, I think like Dave Winfield, Mattingly, those guys. So like nothing like the scumbags that they are now. So after I moved here, I moved into Florida in '97, and I love baseball. So, and I've never been one of those, like the only team I could say I probably hate was the Red Sox before now. And
Understandable.
Yeah. So then I just started following the Rays, like progressing and everything. And I really loved, they had a lot of good and then when Longo came along, and then I loved Jason Bartlett was like one of my favorites, and Aki and a couple of the other guys. Like I just started kind of turning a little bit more to following that. And I've always been turned off by the whole Yankee thing with like spending the money to get the guys. And I just think it's sort of like cheating a little bit, it feels like. So then after that, I just sort of just slowly more and more was just like more of a Rays fan. And then when Jeter left, that pretty much closed the door on it. And then her and I started going to the games, and I said, hey, let's go to a game. And she'd been a baseball fan, a Reds fan growing up. Her family was in Ohio for a little bit. And it just kind of snowballed from there. So now, yeah, we're like big Rays fans now. So
okay, so basically, like it was tending towards being a Rays fan, but Melissa was the final push.
Yes, yes, that is absolutely right. She completely was like, pushed me over the edge there. So yeah.
Carlos, do you have any Yankees paraphernalia still in your possession?
The only thing I have, because I collect hats, is I have like all 30 MLB teams.
Oh wow!
So
That's awesome.
I have one Yankee hat. That's it. That's the only.
Okay,
thing.
we'll give you a pass on that one. That's okay.
And I haven't worn it in I don't even know since I bought it. So, but I have. That's the only thing I have. Yeah.
Very
Anything
cool.
that was left got tossed when
Just set it on fire, put it in a bonfire.
Yeah.
That the game where Chapman tried to behead Frenchie, that was like whatever was left in the house.
Yeah, we're like it's gone.
It was gone.
It's not. It's in the on the curb the next morning.
Yeah. Exactly.
And yet he will not see a suspension this year.
I know,
Unreal.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't get in trouble for the stuff I've said on Twitter about that. So.
Well, what's funny is MLB suspended another guy, Cordero, for throwing at somebody's. I can't remember the teams exactly or whatever, but it's like there's definitely not.
There's a double standard.
Yes.
Well, and then Joe Kelly got suspended too, and that was
8 games, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Throwing behind somebody.
So
yeah, no, unreal.
Yeah.
Joseph, want to take it away?
So my first Rays game, and as of the moment only Rays game, was in 2017.
Okay.
Also against the Twins,
Hey.
but they lost.
Okay, well...
that wasn't a great Rays year, was it, to go to a game?
Yeah.
2017. There were better years.
Yeah.
We'll have to. I think this next decade, Joseph, if there's an opportunity to go to a Rays game, you should once all this pandemic stuff spills over, knock on wood, that'd be a great time to go to.
Yeah.
That's true. Hey, relocation, we can always maybe Rays think outside the box. So, they're already looking at Montreal. Why not
London,
the UK?
Yeah.
That'd be so cool to have a series over there, though. Maybe have every team at some point have a series over there or something. I mean,
I like that shirt too. Yeah.
I went to the Red Sox Yankees game last year in London.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Yeah, that was a crazy series. The Yankees.
That was ridiculous.
And Red Sox. It's just like it was a football match, 20-25, 20-18. It was crazy. It's crazy. Cheryl, do you want to take it away?
Sure. So I would just say I was a general kind of light baseball fan all my life. My parents both came from baseball families, but I grew up in Oklahoma where we didn't have professional baseball. So I rooted for my mom's Cubs and my dad's Astros. And then didn't really find a home for baseball until I moved here like in 2000. So yeah, right away, I love the Rays. But honestly, there's like no one else. I don't have like a group of people to go see baseball games with. So it's kind of just me hanging out until 2 years ago, my parents moved here. So now they're a mile away, which is awesome. And we started ramping up our attendance to the Rays games. And last year we got to go to game 3 and game 4 of the ALDS.
Oh, wow.
Very cool.
It was a big deal because my parents are still Cubs and Astros, but they both said Rays are first in their hearts now.
Aww.
And my dad had been wearing his Astros shirt every time we went to the Rays game. And he switched, starting with game 3 to only wearing his Tampa shirt. And he said, that's it. And now, of course, with all the drama, he's distanced himself a little bit more, but, yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun having my parents involved and having that connection with them. Love going to the Trop, even though there's things to hate about it. I am very grateful for it, especially like today, right? Like we had these thunderstorms rolling through. Not even a thought. Is this game going to be postponed or anything? So, yeah, I love getting to know the players. I just love baseball.
Awesome.
That's great. And that's something that I think we'll have to do at some point. Ulysses is kind of a Locked On Rays get together at the Trop
100%.
on a weekend or a night where the tickets are super cheap and we get some kind of gathering and can kind of coordinate it and kind of, I think that'd be a really cool thing. Or even at the next Fan Fest, God willing that, they allow people to go to that. Cheryl, I want to ask you, so you're from Oklahoma. What part of Oklahoma?
I grew up we moved around a lot until I was like in elementary school, but I grew up in Tulsa.
Oh, okay. I lived in Woodward for a year, so on the other side of the state,
yeah.
northwest Oklahoma. Yeah.
Well, I went to OU, so I know people from all over Oklahoma.
Oh wow, yeah. I worked up there for a radio job, so it was definitely I wasn't used to, because it's such a small town. Like in a 9-county area, there might be like 20,000 people or so. I mean,
Wow.
if
Yeah.
you want to get away from people, you move to Northwest Oklahoma. Like that is kind of
Give me the
that might be the move right
Once
there.
the Rays, if they go to Montreal, I'll just be so angry. I'll need that zip code.
There you go. Yeah, and just
Put it in your back
subscribe
pocket.
to MLB.TV and go from there. But yeah, very cool.
I still go back and forth. Like at one point I was like, if they go to Montreal, I'm done. Like I'm throwing the gauntlet down and I'm done. But I don't know. I just wonder. Like I still think it'll never happen. I think there's just way too many obstacles to get through for any of that to happen. But I do wonder, like, how, like, especially like we've really become so invested in the team, with you guys, with the podcast and just like following everything, going to games year after year and all that stuff. And I just wonder if it was something like that, how much would it change or whatever? Because I mean, honestly, it doesn't make any sense to build 2 stadiums. It doesn't make any sense to build a small one that's open. It's hot here, like the majority of the time. So I don't see where the logic was with that. So
Anybody that has lived through a summer here in Tampa Bay, they know that you can't have an open air stadium. It's just not a possibility. And I think, Kevin, you were the one that told me, out of 81 games that the Marlins played, I think it was in 2018 or 2019, they only had the roof open the whole game for 10 of those 81 games. So
yeah, it's just not feasible with the heat and the rain and the thunderstorm. Like it's uncomfortable enough during the summers walking outside and you feel like you're already sweating, or walking to your car
right
from the driveway or whatever, and to expect people to sit through a 3-4 hour baseball game, and it's and I wonder again, if, knock on wood, maybe they win the World Series, if that maybe drums up some more support or something like that, or maybe that convinces them to, I don't know, stay. The good thing is it seems like there really hasn't been any like scuttlebutt about the Montreal issue this season in the last couple months. Like we've been Montreal free,
quiet.
Thankfully, it's everything has been on the field pretty much.
Love it. And that's, I think, one of the worst things that happened in 2019 was in the middle of a team being first in the division in the AL East, and then they'd have that press conference where it was honestly, and again, this is Rays Unfiltered, so it was a shit show. Okay, that's why. There's the first one. It really was, and it just kind of took the momentum out of the fan base, I think, and it took momentum out of the team. I mean, a couple, weeks later, if you want to conspiracy theory this, they fall out of first place. I think, the questions players don't want to answer what's going to happen 7 years from then. Right. The only guy that could possibly be in the team would be Brandon Lau if like 3 options are taken on his contract. So it just seems like a bad juju to have on the clubhouse. So it's nice that hasn't been mentioned at all this year. Hey, Kevin, I think I see one more person who hasn't talked as of yet.
Yes, Ben Rosa. Thank you for joining us, Ben.
Hey guys, sorry if you hear a lot of background. I have a bunch of people. We were watching the Bucks and the Rays. So
like I was, I did the same thing.
Plus I have my daughter running around like crazy. What's going on?
Good to have you here. We were going around the room saying where we are from and kind of our first interaction with the Rays at the Trop. Anything you kind of want to join in here with the group before we started diving into the concerns and topics that we all have about our Rays?
Nice. I grew up in Chicago, born and raised, was a big Cubs fan as a kid. I moved to Tampa for agencies and in 2006. So started following the Devil Rays because I kind of gravitated towards the underdog.
Good.
And it wasn't until we had that, I don't know if everyone remembers when Kevin Costner did the unveiling of the new Rays, burning
Yes.
out the Devil Rays, becoming the official Rays.
Oh,
That's when I became obsessed with the Rays. There was just an energy. I was a huge fan of Evan Longoria from the Durham Bulls all the way we became an actual Rays, getting called up. So since then, I just loved my Rays. And so that's basically in a nutshell.
Cool. So you had a pretty good 2016, I bet, too, right?
Yeah. I showed up late. I don't remember what year it was, but it was the Rays versus the Orioles, and it was I think it was extra innings, and it's when Longoria hit that home run at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember that game? It was a couple of years back. I think.
It was that the game in 2012 where he had 3 home runs to end the season.
Yes, and then it punched our tickets into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I showed up late at that game, and when I arrived, it was him hitting that home run.
Wow.
Yeah. So that.
Wait, you mean game 162? That's insane.
Yep. Yeah, that was it. I showed up late, and I'm like, I might as well just end the season, because it was, if we lost, we were not going to make the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
That was it.
Oh wow. I hope you have the ticket stub still.
I do. I kept the ticket stub.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. Okay. Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining our Zoom. As I've been instructed, chat. It's not a meeting.
Yes, chat, conversation, not a meeting. Very clear about that. This is not a work meeting.
People don't want to wear their turtlenecks or their ties. None of that.
Yeah.
This is very loose here. Okay. 40 wins. I think that's the biggest topic in Rays fandom right now. It's 40 wins. Me and Kevin were aiming for 36, I think, and we were doing our preseason hopes. 36 would be the number to get it. If you get 36, you're going to the playoffs. If you get 36, you could be in play for the division. They get 40. Anybody thought they would actually get 40?
No. I thought they would be right around in that range, maybe 35, 32, 33, around that area. Enough to get in, for sure.
I had 32.
Okay. Cheryl?
No, I didn't think they would.
Yeah.
I thought 38, 39, especially as we got closer, but no, I did not think they'd hit 40.
Yeah. Joseph?
Yeah, it took them Go ahead, Joseph.
I think I thought about 35, 36.
36, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like they at the end of the day had to sweep the Phillies to get to the magic number 40, and it was like, well, you got Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola going Saturday and Sunday. That might be a tall task, and they had so much to play for too. Not that the Rays didn't, they wanted to secure that number 1 seed, but the Phillies were trying to get into the playoffs, and I think they're eliminated, right? I haven't.
They are
out. So
And they repeatedly had opportunities. I mean, not only because they needed to, I think, win 1 or 2 of in this series, but even on the last day, the scoreboard was telling them, "Hey, win this game, buttheads," and you're in in the playoffs, and they couldn't do it because, again, this Rays team really stepped up, and we were talking in the beginning of the month. I'm looking at the schedule here. I'm not just looking at the wall. I'm looking at the schedule here, and they started off pretty bad in September. It didn't look good with the Miami series, the Washington Nationals, and then you lose the first one against Boston. It's not looking good for September. All the things against teams versus 500 or below, not looking good. But the guys really stepped it up. They finally split that against Washington. They take 4 out of 5 in Baltimore. They take 2 out of 3 against the Mets, 3 out of 3 from the Phillies. I mean, this team going into the playoffs is pretty hot right now.
Yeah, no, I thought when they kind of stumbled a little bit with Baltimore, and I think everyone was pretty surprised because, I mean, just Baltimore has been bad for so long, but like it kind of just like goes back to before you did the guest. I think Ulysses, weren't you on the guest thing with the lockdown one for Baltimore?
Yeah,
and it's like, but when you started talking about where they're young guys that they had, like Santander, what is it,
Yeah.
Hauser or whatever. I mean, they've got some guys that can hit the ball.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? What is it? Mount Castle or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Mountcastle is the best last name in sports right now. I don't care. Don't at me on it, but Mountcastle is like
Yeah.
a character from Game of Thrones. You can say,
Yeah.
Lord Mountcastle,
Yeah.
are you there?
He also has a baby face. He looks like he's about 15 years old.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is a team that I expected like every series to sweep. Like no problem, nothing. I mean, I just was like, when they started like just kind of coming on and then we're losing games to them, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. This team is way better than anyone had anticipated.
0-5. Right?
Yeah.
You go 0-5 and you're like, okay, what's going on here? It really, that was, I think, a big red flag for fans. Like, are we not as good as we thought we were? And then for the team as well, right? I mean, they have to be thinking in the club. I was like, what the hell is going on? Why are we losing against the Baltimore Orioles right now? That's not in the cards,
Yeah, I think it was a wake up call. But it had to be a little bit, especially after that sweep early on, because.
Oh, did we lose him?
I think Carlos and Melissa are frozen. Can Ben, Cheryl, and Joseph, can you all still hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wait until they come back up. But okay, Kevin, I got a question for you, buddy. Seeing as we talked about this on the show, that it could be that they were burning playoff spots, and by having Meadows, Jimon Choi, Yandy Diaz, now there's reports that Choi and Diaz could be available. There are some guys that are hitting pretty well. Cough, cough, wink, wink. Nate Lowe.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Do you go with Nate Lowe, who's impressing so far and doing a pretty good job, or you go with Jimon Choi, who the Rays have liked for now 2.5 years?
Well, I've made my point clear that I'm a bigger Nate Lowe fan than I am Ji-Man Choi. So I would, again, go with the hot hand and the guy who has been getting reps and at-bats. And he's looked good lately. I mean, his two-strike approach and being able to – we saw over this weekend that he can hit high fastballs and he can hit breaking balls with two strikes. And he can play third base. Yeah. Hey, Carlos.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's a big storm here.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, we got knocked out a little bit, but we should
thought
be okay.
So. Okay.
We're back on my phone.
Oh,
The grid.
Make sure to charge that phone. You make sure that it's plugged in. Now, we don't want to lose you again.
Yeah. Where's the grid?
Speaking of that question, Ulysses, can I just want to get everybody's gauge on this.
Please.
Who is everyone's favorite player on this year's team? Joseph, if you want to start.
Tyler Glasnow for me. I'm a big Glass fan.
Glass fan. Okay. I like that.
Is that because he's from California? You're based in Cali, right, Ben?
Yeah, I am. I'm in LA.
Okay.
Must be that California bias. Like Ulysses has the Venezuela bias.
It's the Venezuelan bump.
Ben's got the California bias. The bump, yes. I saw those Johan Santana tweets. I know you like them.
Hey, come on. Can't lie. It's too good, buddy. It's too good. Okay, cool. Glasnow fans. Carlos, I don't know if we've talked about this. Your favorite Ray?
Golly, it varies. Like, I love KK. That's my boy.
Yeah,
on there.
Yeah, you dropped him on your fantasy team, right?
Well, yeah, I dropped him for you so you could, because you didn't have a Ray.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. I wasn't biting on that one. No, thank you.
Take his
back. You had a lot of Yankees on your team at one point. So
you had Clint Frazier, I think, batting cleanup.
He had Frazier. He had Urshela. He had.
Hey, I came in second in the division, right? Although Carlos, I'll give you a shout out.
I think there's still some. Yeah, I think. Ooh.
No, you won your division because I studied all of this because I was like, I got to see how I can. You won the one division, I won the other division, and then I think everything ended tonight. And what's Zinger or whatever, he beat you, and then I beat the South African Snails or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I ended up with third overall. I don't know how they'll sort that all out, but
Yeah, I think there's playoffs though, right? Like next week, or are we done?
no, this is
Well,
it.
I think it's just regular season. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I got my
well, yeah,
buzzy.
I guess I like Kiermaier. I just the guy hustles. He plays hard. I hate that he's like kind of declining a little bit at the bat, but he's never been. I don't think he's ever been like super strong. Just consistent, and then he was clutch for a good 2 weeks there.
100%.
Yeah, when there was people in scoring position or on base, he hit some really good clutch ones. But yeah, I mean, I've always liked him. And then before, like Longoria was like my guy too, and like I said, Bartlett and a few of the other guys. So, but yeah, I would say KK is probably my guy. So
Yeah, I agree.
Especially
KK for sure. And yeah, back in the day, Zobrist.
Can't go by with Benzo. He's the guy.
Joseph or Melissa? Sorry, I'm going all out of order here.
Well, I would say like Willie is my favorite player currently. Was it 2018 when they brought in him, when he came in with like Jake Bowers?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was giving him so much shit about like just like why do they have Willie out there on Twitter and stuff like everybody's like, why do they have Willie out there? Why do they keep starting him? Why is he why is he batting cleanup or whatever? And I was like, you have to calm down, like settle down. Like he's, I don't know, 18 years old. He just got here.
Yeah.
But he has just such a positive attitude, and he's just such a team player. Like just how anytime somebody makes a big play or a big hit, he's the first person at the dugout.
Every time. Without fail, it's amazing.
That you just can't that's not something you find all the time or you see all the time with teams. So I think it's just his whole obviously his batting has gotten better since then. But it's not people really just weren't giving him a chance. And I was like, he'll be fine, he's just figuring, getting used to it and everything. But just his attitude, I think, is my favorite. Just
I think it's because he also looks like the 2020 version of Benny the Jet Rodriguez from Sandlot. So
wow, that is
crush.
Yeah,
we need to get a doppelganger picture on this, Kevin. This might be a really good one. Thank you, Carlos, for the preemptive tweet. That should happen in the offseason. Cheryl, what about you?
I'm really liking Joey Wendell. I really like what he's doing. I like that he's so dependable. I feel like when I see him get up to bat, he's going to get a walk or he's going to get on base. He's going to do something to move us forward. And I think out on the field too, I just feel like he's out there and he's playing, and he's not a showboat like Kiermaier. As much as I love KK, right? Joey Wendell does amazing things and people don't even seem to notice. But I just like what he brings. I would say I was heartbroken last year when Travis left. I knew that was coming, but I loved what he brought to the team also. And I really enjoyed him being on the Rays.
Funny that
every team needs Joey Wendell. Every team needs multiple Joey Wendells. Like, that is a given right there.
That dude's so good. Yeah.
But funny that you said the Joey Wendell thing with KK, because KK got on Twitter. I don't know if you guys saw this, but praised Joey Wendell, saying exactly what you're saying, Cheryl. He's an underrated guy. People don't know how much he puts in and out every day, and that's exactly it. Kevin hit it. You know,
the way he runs to first on even a routine ground ball, it's like he's being chased by gazelles, and like it is crazy. Like, this guy really wants to get on base. Like, there is no quit in him, which is important for sure.
And also the defense last night, that catch he made, was ridiculous,
amazing. I want to see the stat cast on it, but the feet per second must have been way above the average for an MLB player. It was really, really, really good.
I think it had to have been in his mind, though, right? That Hunter Renfroe was playing first for the first time ever, right? And we had Phillips out in right field, who he's fairly new on the Rays.
Right.
I think he felt a responsibility to add that coverage. and really, make sure that that ball was caught. And I thought that was awesome.
Well, doesn't that speak to his high baseball IQ, recognizing
Right.
what's going on? If anything goes onto my left side, I have to be the guy. I have to be responsible for anything that goes that way. So yeah, that just speaks very highly of Joey Wendell. Joseph, you haven't chimed in yet. Who is your favorite player in 2020?
Mine is also Joey Wendell, not just because he's my namesake.
There we go.
Of course. Yeah, all of those reasons are, make Joey Wendell Twitter's GOAT. And I haven't seen his outfield glove, but I do miss it because it's humongous. And
I think he goes out there barehanded. He's going to catch balls with his bare hands. No glove needed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way he rolls, I guess. Yeah, he might be the most reliable backup shortstop. Like if there's a guy, okay, we need our backup shortstop in here. Like that is the guy you want. That is the guy. Like clearly he's not as athletic as Adames, but if there's a ball hit to him, he's most likely going to make the play for sure. So
wasn't that like maybe a week ago that? Oh no, it was with the Mets, wasn't it, Kevin? That last out was an amazing play by Joey to Wendell going into the hole. I think it's to finish a game.
Right? Yeah.
Beautiful play.
I didn't know he had that, to be honest. I thought that was more of a Willie thing and not a Wendell thing, but he's shown that ability too, for sure.
And not to quote Madden here, but it was definitely a chrome type of play. Joey Wendell definitely, flashed some chrome there.
You love quoting Joe Madden. I feel like you do it once a week, once every couple of weeks.
I feel like every time I find a white hair on my head or my beard, I resemble more of the Joe Madden than the Kevin Cash. I don't know.
Every time you have a glass of wine, you're pour some out for
exactly.
For Madden, I guess.
Thank you, Joe. Glug glug.
The world would be a better place if somebody quoted Madden once a week.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah.
There you go.
Unfortunately, they couldn't make the play. The Angels couldn't make the playoffs with him as manager, so that speaks. Yeah. They gotta. I think they fired their general manager.
They fired. Yeah. Is it Epson?
Epler. Billy Epler. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess Dombrowski's going to get that job. So that'll be interesting.
I guess so. Yeah. Who's going to get the Red Sox job for the manager job? Alex Cora. I guess they're just going to.
I think that the Houston Astros and the Red Sox are honestly going to just show it up in front of everybody's face and be like, no, we're going to hire Hinch and we're going to hire Cora.
Yeah.
You can't do anything to us. Yeah.
Maybe they'll swap.
Or maybe
that would be a turn of events for sure.
I like that.
Okay, so how confident are you all about a World Series run? Legitimately.
Wait, can we before this?
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Jays now? Because now we know it's the Jays.
Yeah.
Let's switch that question just a little bit. How do people feel about going against the Jays? We went against 6-4. 2 of those were walk-off wins in the Rays' favor. They scored more runs than us. They had better ERA, starter, and bullpen. How do we feel about this? I'm going to kick this to you, Ben. How do you feel about it?
Oh man, why me first?
You can't copy of anybody else's paper. This is you.
I actually had a feeling it was going to be the Jays for a while.
Okay.
I've been calling that one, but I'm also been dreading it, and I've been watching every Jays games because they are a well-balanced team. Their record does not reflect their talent and their capabilities. They concern me a lot because when we play them every time, like you said, it was always a walk-off. So with the exception of 1 or 2 games. So honestly, it depends on what appearances we show up in terms of our pitching, how Glass shows up, Morton, Snell, and our ISPs has been very a concern for me. So the past 2 games we've been doing pretty well. We've been hitting. It seems like there's momentum going into this first round, and I'm depending a lot on that, and especially our defense. So am I concerned? Yes, I am concerned. Will we make it? Will we beat them? I think so. I think our records, our talents, we are so fired up right now. So, and I'm relying heavily on our momentum.
Ever since they published that last Rays hype up video, I told Kevin, I'm like, I'm about to run through a goddamn brick wall. And it's Monday morning and I haven't even had coffee yet, but I'm gonna kill some numbers right now for my
Put your
job.
mask on and surgical gloves and pick up the bat. Keep going.
I'm gonna just beat something to a pulp. We are definitely excited, and I hear you, Ben. I think there is a place of concern, especially because of how close they have played the Rays. And I think, Kevin, you were the one that said the scores.
They've outscored the Rays in the season series 48-44.
But each game, I think you put it on the podcast and you said how close each game was.
Yeah.
It was like 6-4, 5-3, 2-1, 1-0. It's definitely something to be concerned about. How about you, Cheryl? How do you feel about it?
I would rather be playing the Yankees.
Ooh, that's a hot take. Okay.
You know what's funny about that is I could totally see the Indians dismount the Yankees in this 3-game series. I
can't wait.
I would not hate it at
I
all.
wholeheartedly agree.
I think they will.
I think the Indians are going to beat the Yankees, are going to eliminate them. I think it's cool that we didn't play the Yankees because it would have been more of a grudge match for the Yankees. So,
yes.
And I think they would have had more to prove. So I think we did well not facing them.
So I think the Yankees are playing the White Sox, right?
I think that changed, but let me check because I have it.
Pretty sure it's the Indians.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Indians Yankees is the 4-5, and then White Sox A's is the 2-7.
Yeah,
and I mean the White Sox. I mean, you could see a lot of quote unquote upsets.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see the Sox beating the A's. I could see
I could see the Twins beating the Astros though. I'm sorry, the Trash.
Yeah. So
I could see.
Yeah, I think that'll probably happen. I think you'll probably, if I had to guess, 2 upsets and two regular.
The regular wins. Is the Rays over the Jays. Everybody can breathe, right? That's how we feel. But yeah, no, it's gonna be a tough series. Joseph, what do you think, man?
I spent the entire game today not deciding who I'm wanted to play.
Yeah,
I don't like either of them.
You don't like either of them.
I don't fancy either of them.
No, I don't. Again, after last year and watching the Blue Jays and some of those games and some of those comeback wins and everything that happened, it's just they do make me a little nervous at times for whatever reason. And they're just that young, hungry bunch, and all the trades they made at the deadline and all the acquisitions. And Nate Pearson they're going to start to use Nate Pearson now. So that could come in key too. So
it's going to be
Vlad Guerrero's heating up. I mean,
Vladdy is on fire right now. And he hasn't been on fire, I think, the whole season. He's kind of been middle of the road.
And they've got this catcher, Alejandro Kirk, who's like 5'8", 265. He's the Ulysses. Who's my guy? My catcher, Williams Astudillo.
Yeah.
Williams Astudillo.
Wow.
He's a pudgier Williams Astudillo.
A pudgier than Williams? Impossible.
Yeah. He's like Kung Fu Panda as a catcher.
Yes, and he hit. Apparently, he rakes. He makes contact.
Yeah, he blasted.
That's the next, marketing efficiency. Find
270-pound catchers
that can hit, that don't strike out. They just pure hit. Kung Fu Pandas all day long. Put a couple Kung Fu Pandas with a couple Joey Wendells. You get yourself.
You're good.
World Series team. Sure.
There's one player in the Jays that I can't stand, and he always seems to have our number. Is Bo Bichette. Every time he's on the bat, I'm like, oh my gosh.
The hair, man.
Always seems to be second and third. He shows up and boom, every freaking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were lucky that last time he was injured.
Yeah, he's literally the hometown kid because he's from St. Petersburg and went to Lakewood High School, and you'll probably see his dad in the stands. He'll find a way to sneak in there. And
actually, they're opening the outfield, right? They're opening the outfield for some family of the players. Is that correct for some wild card games, right?
Yeah,
I think he was in the dugout. He was in a dugout for a game at one point. When I was in college, his dad, because I don't know if you remember his Bo's, I guess it would be his older brother, when they made it to the Little League World Series, they did it out of Maitland and they were living here. So when I was in college, they would come into to the sports authority that we worked at, and his dad was super nice. Like he always like talked with everybody, signed autographs, did everything, and always really, really nice guy. So and then he played for the Rockies when they were established. So I always thought the guy was like super nice. But yeah, it's crazy to see that I think it was, I can't remember the brother's name, but Bo's brother kind of never panned out.
He was like
Evan, who was it? He was a number one pick, or
I think he was drafted by the
round?
Yankees.
Yeah, he went to the Yankees.
Definitely, I think it was Dante Bichette Jr. I mean, ironically.
Yeah, I thought it was Dante Bichette Jr. or something like that. But yeah, he never panned out, and then you just don't hear anything more, and then Bo comes out of nowhere. And,
Right.
I
mean, how many of you remember last year when he made that homer against us to win the game against us?
I get the same feeling with Biggio, too.
Yeah,
Biggio. Again.
Yeah, it's a lineup. And that's not even talking about Gurriel or Vlad.
Oh, God, yeah.
I mean, this is a team that is definitely concerning.
They got VR on the team.
That's right. We have
Oscar Hernandez.
Oscar Hernandez. The guy is just hitting homers like it's nothing. Yeah, he's incredible. So it's definitely a very powerful lineup. But having said that,
we've been talking a lot about the Blue Jays. Like, do we think the Blue Jays are going to win here? What's going on?
Exactly.
We are Rays fans, no?
Yeah. So let's focus back on the team at hand. Look, the Rays. Snell has done beautifully in his career against the Jays. I think it's going to be good to have Charlie Morton as a Game 3 ace in the hole. Like, hey, he knows what he's doing. I don't think the Jays have that. They don't have that caliber guy. Their caliber guy is going 1 in Ryu. I know right now on MLB.com says TBA, but it's going to be Ryu because it lines up perfectly for him. So he won't be available for Game 3. So I think, again, advantage Rays. Now the wild card here is number 2, Glasnow. He's had awful outings against the Jays in his past, but he hasn't faced them in 2020. So you would think, okay, is Glasnow the same pitcher this year as in years past? I don't think so. But is that going to be in his mind, seeing that same uniform and saying like, oh, maybe I did see that guy. He hit a homer off me. So that's the wild card for me. It's not Morton. It's not Snell. It's going to be Glasnow.
My boy. That's right.
Exactly. The Rays will do well if Glasnow does well, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we have so much. I mean, Willie is doing very, very well. Since you guys spoke about him last time, he's actually improved a lot, even defensively.
Yes.
So going in, and Lau has been doing very well. He's been hitting a lot. This Randy Arozarena, who I think is going to be our new stud. This guy is a monster. I cannot believe how good this guy is.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to do very well. I think we're going to I think the first game out, we're going to win it.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Honestly, I hope there's not a Game 3.
I hope so,
do we
too.
need a Game 3? I mean, 1-2,
Game
that's
1,
it.
Game 2.
Get it over with.
Get it over. Two game sweep. That's what you need. Really quick and death,
Yeah.
But I agree with you, Ulysses. Yeah, like if it gets to a Game 3, the Blue Jays don't have the arms. I don't think they've got who's their third starter. Who's their I know they've gotten creative with their bullpen and everything, but
that's what I think. Because you go Ryu first, right, and then you go Walker second. Who do you throw? Robbie Ray third, or no? You would go with what's his name with the beard?
Shoemaker. Anger management.
Shoemaker, correct.
Yeah.
And you know what? Who I would have facing Shoemaker? I'd have Mr. Yoshitomo Tsutsugo, okay? Hidden. Because he has seen that ball from Shoemaker like a fucking watermelon, okay? He's seen that thing this size. So I would put Yoshitomo up there for sure.
I don't know if you guys listened or not, but Yoshi did not live up to Ulysses and I's prop bet on batting 200. He started the day batting 204, and then went 0 for 5 today and is at 197, I believe. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that segment that we put out there for the Rays Unfiltered crowd. So anyway, I do think he's gotten better. I mean, I think I do like his approach at the plate. I think sometimes he's a little bit too passive.
He's Dan Johnson-y.
That's a good
Wow.
comparison. Dan Johnson. Wow,
You know,
that's good.
like he has a good on base, but it seems like he just doesn't know when to pull the trigger. He's just sometimes
Japanese Johnson? Is that your new nickname?
God, Japanese Johnson. He's just it just seems like he's looking for something else on strike three. Like you said, Kevin, he has a lot of strikeouts looking.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're going to give me the strikeouts, which I guess 2020 Rays, everybody's going to give you the strikeouts.
Everybody's striking out, yeah.
Swing
Although
away. Swing,
yeah.
buddy. Swing the bat. Like, at least, like, get yourself another pitch, foul it off, do something. Catcher's interference. Give me.
Do you think they're going to keep him as leadoff, or do you think they'll go with Randy as leadoff going into the playoffs?
Oh, that was nice. I really enjoyed having Randy batting leadoff. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. I loved that move.
Who else loved that? Hands up or say yay if you're
virtual hand raise. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah, beautiful. I mean, the guy's dynamic. He's got pop.
Yes.
I think if he can just cut off a little bit on the strikeouts, but again, who
everybody's striking out. Yeah,
he's got a little bit of Vladdy Senior in him. The Raz. If you think that's my nickname for him, obviously.
I like it.
But if you watch him, he reminds me a little bit of Vladdy Senior, because Vladdy would golf ball some of those things out of Angel Stadium because he had so much power to do that. But I look at him and I see some of that stuff, because sometimes you're like, why the hell did you swing for that? Like, but he's got enough where he gets a good piece of it, it's gone, so.
Yeah.
But I think also with that, Vladdy on the Jays, he was very inconsistent this year. He got hot towards the end, of course, after I dropped him off my team, fantasy,
of course.
But I think he's going to be a key factor. I think if he stays hot, or he gets just on a 2 or 3 game thing there, like, I think we might be in trouble with Glasnow or Snell, whoever, who's done really well, like you said, against them. I think that would be something I'd worry about. For some reason, it seems like they kind of live and die with him a little bit, even though Bo is definitely he's the superstar of the team.
That's an interesting point, because Ryu is going to be, he's a lefty, right? So he's going to be starting game 1. So you would potentially not be having a lefty opening that lineup. So Randy could be a guy you put at the top of the lineup game 1. And that's huge. And another thing that we have to talk crap about the Jays, because enough talking good about the Jays, they haven't been there. They haven't been there at all, right? So that's advantage Rays. I mean, the Rays looked at the barrel of the gun and said, F you, man. We will win game 3. We will win game 4, and took it all the way to game 5 last year. So that's experience that you can't buy. And these guys, as talented as they are, they've never been in the playoffs. So you have to think that's the nerves are going to be here for them rather than here for Tampa.
It could be something of they're just happy to be here, while the Rays, the way they were eliminated last year, they're out for blood.
Exactly.
Yeah. Everything that's happened.
Yeah.
The Yankees this year, what happened in the postseason with the Astros, and people still, it seems, overlooking them. They really want to win this thing, of course. So
that'd be fantastic. So that's the biggest one. Now, afterwards, it gets a little messy, right? Because, I mean, you couldn't see the ALCS until the A's. Maybe you could see the A's in the ALCS if they sneak in there. That could be a really nice thing for baseball.
I was calling to my friends Rays and Indians, ALCS.
Oh,
that was my call.
Fancy.
I like the A's. I think the A's are they're the West Coast Rays. They are similar situation, payroll, crazy owner, stadium fight, like the whole thing. Like players you don't even know who they are, type of thing. Like in the national media, don't quite get the same attention. As some of their West Coast friends there, especially like with San Diego going out of control with their players and their free agency and all that kind of stuff. I think they don't get the attention, even though they're American League versus National League with San Diego. But I see a lot of similarities, and to me, I can see that being another matchup against them. And if there is, I didn't look at like how the brackets is set up or anything like that, but
I have it up. Yeah, it would be A's at the bottom, and then with the White Sox, and then Twins and Houston. So the DS could be, let's say, Twins beat Houston, A's beat the Sox. It would be Twins A's. That would be.
I don't think the A's and the Rays wouldn't meet until the ALCS because they're the 1 and 2 seed.
It would be
exactly
okay. Yeah.
Correct.
And they might have a little bit of who knows, maybe it helps them out being in California this entire time where
that's a good point.
Less of the travel and
I don't know who came up with that either. Like it should have definitely been East Coast, West Coast stuff. Like I don't know why they wanted to push it all out. I don't know if it's because they were worried about like the weather getting colder and wetter and stuff like that as we moved along. But I mean, they could have put some games in the Trop. They could have put games in Miami.
How did we not? How did the Trop not? Look, I know the pandemic and the numbers are horrible in Florida right now, but you have to think if there is a place where you would always have ball, no matter what. Hello, a roof would be pretty good place to have some ball. And guess what? Miami Marlins are only 4 hours away, so you're taking out airplane travel completely if you have it all in Florida with Miami and Tampa. So I know that probably the numbers of the pandemic were pretty horrible to tell you the truth, but I don't know. It just seemed like that was a missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to see a Rays Marlins World Series? Am I the only one? Florida on Florida, Citrus Series, World Series.
That would be amazing. They would talk about the ratings being the lowest ever.
I want to see Rays and Dodgers. I'm sorry. That would be amazing for me.
Okay. Yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Well, that would be good, Ben. And I know you have the LA bias and bump here, but LA's really good. I'm looking for like a little bit of a lesser opponent versus the Rays. I don't want to go against Andrew Friedman necessarily and company.
Dodgers have no bullpen. They have no bullpen. And the Dodgers are my other growing up team, from being a West Coast kid. But yeah, no, the Dodgers, they have no bullpen, man. I wouldn't worry about it.
What's funny is every time I turn on and watch Kenley Jansen, he's always like in 30 pitches deep and never always running into trouble. It's really funny how that works out. So
I don't know who I would want to see in the National League. I mean, the Dodgers would be pretty sweet just because we would get ratings, and if we beat them, it would be fantastic.
Oh my God!
Just because, people would be actually, oh my God, the Rays beat the freaking Dodgers. Like it would be.
I know. That's exactly right.
People would remember that. But
and the Yankees would just be crying so much because they couldn't complain, right? They couldn't say, well, it wasn't the Dodgers.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
So,
Cheryl, I'm with you, Cheryl. I wanted to see Yankees that first round, but I just think it would have been good. But, I think it was Kevin, said it would have been like a total grudge match.
Yeah. I think somebody would have gotten hurt, like legit, hurt. I think somebody would have gotten hurt, and then would have been rioting in the streets. But because they got it. I mean, they hit took out Starling Marte today. With one to the dome
on the helmet. Yeah.
I
did not see that.
Wow, right on the brim. Yeah.
It took his helmet off. Jeez. And then DJ LeMahieu hit a line drive at their pitcher and probably shattered his hand. So I think I think somebody when I was watching the game, I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't know, man, somebody's gonna get hurt. And
who was on the mound? Who got hurt from the Marlins?
Urena?
Yeah, one of the relievers,
okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a reliever, but
he's a reliever now.
Oh, I don't know. I know it wasn't like Sixto Sanchez or
no
Pablo Lopez or
no. It's too big of a talent. I don't want to lose Sixto Sanchez from the major leagues right now. He's too good.
Marlins pitchers are ridiculously good, man.
They've got arms.
Jeez.
I mean, the Marlins and
they got some bats too. They could be interesting. I legitimately think they could and will beat the Cubs.
Do you think? Okay, yeah, exactly.
There's going to be some
wow.
discussion on the podcast on
Wow.
Tuesday.
Wow.
We'll be doing our
Sneak peek.
playoff picks.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we'll do like a rapid fire playoff pick and run through all the wild card series and everything. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But
Do you have, Kevin, any upcoming prop bets going into the postseason that we should look forward to?
ooh, that is something we will have to at some point. We'll have to get to all the prop bets from this year. Like once the season is
Yes.
over, we'll kind of run through them all. We'll do a little fantasy update. We'll have a lot of fun in the off season. But yeah, I'm still percolating on some playoff prop bets. But you guys will be the first to hear. That's
Yes.
Nice.
No, you guys really. It's really fun to do the prop bets. It's honestly, they have happened so often in this season that we had to create a Google Drive with all of them, and I think some of them might have escaped us, unfortunately.
Oh, I know. We can't. It would take days to get through them all because we just like throw them out there.
Yeah.
Once or twice a week.
Sometimes they're
at least,
daily
but-
prop bets, but one day we will get organized and not miss any of them,
Yeah. Joseph, what do you think about a World Series matchup or any? I know we're looking far ahead here, but
Well, the one I'd like to play would be the Padres. I think it'd be fun.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and it'd be kind of fun seeing. Maybe see some Fernando Tatis. Is I guess Tommy Pham's healthy now too. So
Yeah,
he's
actually
back.
see Will Myers. We'd see Will Myers and Tommy Pham and Jake Cronenworth. It's like the X-rays, right?
Bill Myers, man. That was, yeah.
He's having a great year too.
Yeah, he is. He is.
You know who's also having a good year, better than Hunter Renfroe? Tommy Pham.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Is he having a better year than?
I was all over that with Ulysses. I was so mad when they let him. I'm like,
Yeah, same
Hunter
here.
Renfro, come on.
Look, just
Let's give him a full season, okay? Let's have some patience here with Hunter
Buddy,
Renfro.
I searched the fan graphs today. The fan graphs, like the Facebook, the fan graphs. Hunter Renfro has a negative 0.5 WAR as of today, and my boy, Carlos's boy, Ben's boy, maybe Chase's boy, and Joe's boy, and Melissa's boy, Tommy Pham, a total 0.0 WAR. So he was replaceable, but guess what? That's better than negative 0.5.
Let me ask you, do you think that has to do with the lack of bats that he's seen, Hunter Renfro?
I think that's part of it. Again, I'm biased here. I think that, again, over the course of 162, he would be better than a whatever he's hitting right now, 170. He got 2 hits today, right? So,
Yeah.
he actually looked
he was
good
there.
with it. He wasn't trying to crush the ball. It was like, okay, I'll smack it the other way if I need to. A base hit's okay. Not everything has to be a home run or a strike.
Right.
Yes.
And at least that I'm glad that they're giving him a first baseman just in case. Like, okay, you at least can show a little versatility here. Like I thought he's done pretty well in right field this year too, and making plays
Yeah.
on the line. And he's more limber than you would think for a guy of his size. But
I think
here,
they're trying
early
to play
prop
something with
bet
the
next
first base.
year he will have a higher WAR than Tommy Pham next year, 2021.
If he's
already
in the
looking
ball
ahead.
club.
Are you
Yeah,
also gonna-
when he's playing for like the Minnesota Twins because
Yeah, exactly.
He's playing for the Durham Bulls, right?
I
Yeah.
don't think Hunter will
Let me-
be a Rays next year. But I do
Yeah.
have a question for you guys, something I've been meaning to ask you. Who would you rather see on first base?
I have to go with the platoon there, man. I love Yandy. I think Yandy against lefties is just a must. So if there's one guy, like I said in the pod, that we can just cure all his ailments and make him 100%, that would be Yandy for me. 100%. If he needs my hamstring, that's right here for him. I got him. And yeah, because Yandy is instrumental. And then on the left side against righties, dude, I gotta agree with Kevin. I think Nate Lowe is the guy to put there. So imagine that production, right? Thank you, Chase. Chase got me. So you got Nate Lowe and you got Yandy Diaz as a production at first base. That is a pretty good production at that corner. What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, you took all the words out of my mouth. I agree 100%. Yeah, Yandy against righties or against lefties, and Nate Lowe against righties. I think that's the way to do it. And what's funny in today's game was they were just moving guys all around. After they took out Brett Phillips,
That was so
I
fun.
couldn't even keep up with all the defensive changes. Like, oh my God, you got Nate at third, you got Mike at second, you moved to Rosarena to
Mikey,
to
El Clutch
center field.
gets to play first base. Look at that. They're just treating first bases as just like a choleric station there.
I mean,
That's what I'm
Kevin's
saying.
been brilliant. Kevin's had a brilliant season. I mean, the way he's just been managing, God, I mean, I can't see anybody else doing a brilliant job like Kevin Cash has.
He really has stepped up his game.
Ben, I thought when you said Kevin, you were talking about me, but I guess not.
That's why we have to. That's why I insist on always calling Mr. Smith Kevin Smith, because there's too many Kevins in my life. It's Kevin Kiermaier, there's Kevin Cash, there's Kevin, of course, Weiss. So I got to give Kevin Smith that pronunciation. But no, that would definitely be it for me, Ben. It'd have to be Yandy and Nate on the other side. That's a damn good platoon right there.
Hopefully, ready for the postseason.
Good hope.
To Joseph's point, I'm looking at the Padres. That'd be a tough matchup, but that'd be a really fun matchup. They've got Clevenger.
He's out.
Oh, he's out. That's right. That's right. I'm
Clevenger's
scrolling.
out.
Yeah, you're right. But as far as former Rays, like Kirby Yates, I mean, a lot.
Kirby Yates.
Like yes, it is the ex-Rays for real. Like
It's the Padres.
Does Cronenworth count?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Cronenworth. Yeah, he definitely has to count. By the way, does he win the Rookie of the Year? Or
has
does
to.
the guy from the Phillies, what we saw, Alec Boehm? It's between those two guys, right? I'd give it to Jake just because, I don't know. He's a Durham favorite. There you go. We can call him a Durham favorite. Yeah.
Well, I have to admit, when Tommy Pham got sent to San Diego, I really started watching the Padres, and I did just buy a Slam Diego hat because I love that phrase, and I'm hoping that, I don't know, I just want to see Tommy Pham, not against us, but I want to see him do some good things and be Grand Slam Tommy Pham again.
I think it's neat like that. I like that shirt too. I think it's cool. Like, I mean, yes, we have our loyalties to the Rays and everything, but I think when it comes down to it, like, we're all baseball fans. So and it's good for the game when things like that happen, when, you can still like root for your players that are, that you liked, that went to, like, I was upset when they let him go. I was so mad because I thought he was an interesting pickup to begin with, because the personality and the whole thing really didn't fit with the Rays guys are usually pretty mellow, not very fiery and all that. So they bring him in, and he did pretty good. I think the 2 years previous in St. Louis, I think he was doing really well. Then he came in, and they had said that he had trouble with management and all that stuff. But I liked the fiery personality. Could you imagine when the dust up with the Yankees, how he would have been? Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the one thing we all should have been able to have seen is Tommy Pham just going out there and being like, you want to hit Frenchie? You really want to do this right now? Because I'm going to get you. That would have been so good.
Yeah.
Or if they threw at Tommy Pham, what would happen in that case?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He's like the guy that would run out there and keep the bat in his hand.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
He would keep the bat in his hand and charge the mound. Like, I mean, yeah. So,
Dude's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
But isn't the quote he's known for is like success is the best revenge? So I like that too, that I think he isn't necessarily there to get the revenge right away. He's willing to wait and get the better long game revenge.
Yeah, it really has been a long game revenge for him, because like the Cardinals never treated him with respect. It seemed like it took him like 9 years to get to the majors, and they always were like, oh, you got an eye condition, we don't want to give you any money. And it just turned out. And he was critical in terms of getting the 2019 team rallied around when, it was a bunch of young kids and everything for the most part. They're like, no, you don't realize how tough it is to get to the playoffs. When it's not 16 teams, that might change now going forward.
I mean,
but it's like, this is not, you have to take advantage of this. You have an opportunity here. And
I love that you say that, Kevin, because if we just, again, to pivot here, to kind of wrap it up, the Jays don't have that. They, from the outside looking in, maybe Randall Grichuk, maybe Ryu is being very vocal, but I don't like these young guys. they're just like, "Gang, we made it to the playoffs! Awesome!" Like, I don't see a Tommy Pham kind of guy. And again, this is from the outside looking in, saying, we gotta get, there. I don't know. I hope I'm right and that I'm not wrong. And there is a Tommy Pham in that clubhouse, but I feel like the experience that the Rays had last year. I mean, again, they went into the Devil's Den facing Cole, Verlander in Houston 3 times. I mean, that's experience that you can't buy off a 60-game season playing in a AAA stadium.
Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah. Chase has a question. Who is our third baseman for the playoffs?
Ooh, who's our third baseman? That's a good one, Chase.
I guess, is it a rotation of guys? I mean,
well, could you have Wendell against righties, right? And then put Brasso there against lefties?
yeah, that would work.
Russell's good. Yeah.
They got a lot of guys who they have shown that they'll just stick at third base. I mean, they did it with Nate Lowe. They've done it with Yoshi.
Yeah, that's what Ben said. Maybe Nate Lowe.
I'm not a fan of Yoshi at third.
Me either.
Nah.
I stick him in left field, or DH. No.
They haven't tried him at first yet, have they?
They haven't, and it surprised me because if you're willing to put somebody at third, how are you not willing to put somebody at first?
Yeah, but maybe he's not as good at, pulling down those balls that those guys are throwing at him. Because I definitely think that Ji-Man Choi makes Willie look good. I think Willie maybe got a little bit lazy because Ji-Man Choi can catch anything, right?
Yeah.
He likes those splits. G-Man definitely has some flexibility down there.
I will say yes, those throws at the shoelaces, they would annoy me to no end. Like, especially at his size too, having to bend over all the time and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe
Hopefully.
Yoshi, you don't put him there, but no, that's a good question, Chase. Anything else before we bid adieu to our peeps? How many catchers?
Awesome.
Catchers, I knew that was going to come up. Chase brought up catchers. Oh, boy.
Oh, wow.
You throw this bomb right now, Chase? Are you kidding me?
He wanted to end on a bang.
You were gonna do this right now to me? I think Chase and like everybody else here knows how we feel about a certain person. Look, I think he's going to be the starter. Like I said, I think he's going to be the starter. I think he maybe is taken out by the 5th, 6th inning.
Say his name, damn it. Say his name.
Zunino.
Dun, dun, dun.
Why
Did he go 14 for 14?
Why can't we have Seattle's Zunino? Why can't we have Seattle's? That guy got me nice numbers fantasy that year. Like, I always equate these guys with like what they did for me.
What are postseason rosters? Are they 28? Are they 28?
Ooh, good question.
The postseason roster. I know you get a 40-man pool. But
I think it should be 28, right? I don't think they're going to do it.
I think if it's 28, then they're having 3 catchers.
I agree with Kevin.
Yeah.
If it's 28, I would see 3. If there's 26, 2.
I wonder though, not to harp on this, but I wonder if now looking forward after everything that's happened with the catcher situation, if they would have given d'Arnaud like a little bit more, if they would have just like maybe tried to meet him halfway for what he wanted and all that. Yeah, he did. He had a good year, but
he had a great year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a good bat. He was a good bat when he was in the Rays lineup, and he was good behind the plate.
He's had a good year this year with the Braves.
I haven't followed him very much, so I wasn't sure. But
He's
one day,
he's batting over 300, I think.
Yeah. Look, one day I hope that just like the Kennedy files, all these things. One day we get like the Rays files, and they said, "Hey, this is why we kept trotting out Zunino." And we're like, oh, or like one day, this is why we didn't sign Travis d'Arnaud. This is why we kept playing, Ji-Man Choi. Like, I would love it, but I don't think that day's ever going to come. Yeah. So you have to just speculate. And I think the speculation here is they didn't trust Travis to repeat that again.
And just stay healthy,
and especially the health. They were like,
because we did an episode where like every year, I think like dating back to like 2015, he had some kind of injury. He was like the KK of catchers, basically.
Yeah. So I think they just went that route. That was the negative that they couldn't shake off, and they were like, 16 mil is just too rich for our blood, which is disgusting to say because.
And just traded away Pham, or I mean, they could have used that money that they, hopefully Xavier Edwards turns into the next Lindor or something like that. Then that'll make it all.
I heard from a Cy Young pitcher, he's just a slapdick prospect. So who knows?
A certain Cy Young, he beat my expectations. I will say, I will admit I was wrong on Snell.
And you know what? He's yet to be finished, right? He's yet to prove us wrong. He's going to win that first game against the Jays at the Trop. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To put on the tin hat with you, Ulysses, of the Rays files. So, let's say we go all the way, win the World Series and everything. I think that would maybe have an effect, going forward on some of these, gargantuan contracts that people are handing out, because the Rays don't have, a Harper or a Trout, where they're paying, just a shitload of money to. Yeah. And then it's the Angels haven't even made the playoffs, and which sucks because Trout's a talented guy. So it's sad for him to an extent, because he ain't hurting. But but then,
100.
But then with Harper, just how people, those teams will just buy the big names, buy a bat or whatever. I wonder if it'll have, maybe if they win this year, it would maybe depend on if they won multiple years. Maybe that will change it. It kind of makes me, kind of makes you think would that maybe have an effect on how other teams are spending?
100%. I think 100%, because you've seen them poach already managers, right? I mean, how many managers right now were X-Rays player or X-Rays coaches? A ton of them. I think 6 or 7 right now. They're going to start poaching people from the front office, which they already did in Houston, James Click.
Right.
I think it's already happening already gradually. And if the Rays were to win the World Series, it would definitely be a shakeup in the industry, being okay, these guys are right. Okay. And they're pioneers. We've copied off the opener. We've copied off the shift. What exactly is the secret sauce in there? Because we need it, because owners don't want to spend money, right? I bet that, the Steinbrenners are we got Garrett Cole, but if they were to get the same production off a dude that's worth Yarbrough's,
they probably would have rather paid Ryu or Keuchel. They're having, similar, or if not is
better.
Cole worth? I mean, has he been worth what he's gotten paid this year necessarily?
But it doesn't make any sense to me. It's just, it's the same formula that the Yankees have been doing for at least the last 20 years, with bringing in from when the old man was there, and he would just go ahead and say, "Oh yeah, just do it," and they do it at crunch time to sign somebody, and then they would lose in the LDS or in the CS or whatever. And I just doesn't understand that. And then it kind of got me thinking, and it's a question for everybody. Out of the big, I call it insane contracts, Cole, Harper, Machado, and Betts, if we could pick one to be on our team, money's whatever, which one would you guys take? Everyone, if you had to pick one of the 4.
Ooh. Harper.
Really?
Wow. Was that you, Brian?
Ben likes the hair. Ben wants the hair, I think.
Ben's a fan of the beard trim. Yeah. Okay.
Ben, why would you pick Harper? I'm curious.
He's got a great bat. I think he just, when he gets hot, he's unstoppable. He reminds me a lot of Mike Trout. So he's just one of those, when he was with the Nationals, man, I mean, the guy is just he's got a good radar for the ball. So
yeah.
The only issue I'd have with not Trout, of course I'd want Trout, Harper, is he seems like he could kind of be a rabble rouser in the clubhouse at times. It's all about me sort of a deal, as opposed to, we know, the Rays are they play more of a team oriented game.
Yeah. Like an Austin Meadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have gone with Mookie Betts, but I'm sour with him because of when he used to be with the Red Sox.
Okay, I see ya.
Ben, I'll have to be your 180 on that one. I would hate to pick somebody that played for the Red Sox. I would have to go with Mookie. I have to go with Mookie. Young enough, just dynamic on everything that he can do. Great player to have at the top of a lineup, and he's a good guy, like a decent human being. Like the stuff that he does for the community is really rather amazing. And just to put a little bit of an emphasis here to Red Sox fans is that us as a Rays fans cheering on their ex-MVP while they're wearing a Betts jersey because they haven't bought another one would be a pretty sweet thing to do.
Yeah. I agree with you, Ulysses. I'd go with Betts. We know how Rays develop pitchers, and just having a guy who does anything and everything, and I think his age and his frame lends to something that'll help him going forward.
Yeah,
like you wonder, Machado and Harper are a little bit bulkier, bigger guys. You wonder how their bodies will hold up when they get to their mid-30s and whatnot. So, and I'm just a general fan of Betts too. So, despite the Red Sox. Yeah. Honestly, it kind of all makes up for it now. The fact that he's with the Dodgers and that he spurned Boston, and that's a whole thing. So,
yeah, for sure.
And also, I love his batting gloves and the Jordan batting gloves. I'm trying to get me a pair of those, and I've tried to find them on eBay. They're way out of my price range.
I haven't checked them out. Okay.
I think there's only like a couple players that have Jordan brand stuff. I know Yadier does and Betts. I'm sure there's a couple others. But
Michael Jordan actually has to sign off on the players that are wearing them.
I guess so. Yeah. Who knows?
Jordan's like, nah.
Yeah. We knew about Jeter, but I didn't want to mention him.
Yeah.
I'm an active player, so
pass it down.
Cheryl and Joseph.
Yeah. Anything from Cheryl and Joseph there?
I'd have gone with Betts as well.
Betts. Yeah.
Unless I can take a lot of money and give it to Jacob DeGrom.
Okay. Nice little 100-mile-an-hour fastball there, Joe.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, painting corners there from England. Okay, that'd be nice. That would be. I mean, imagine that staff though. DeGrom, Snell, Glasnow, and Morton. That's nasty. Gosh,
who needs hitting?
Chase likes it. Are we missing somebody else? Cheryl, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure.
I would go with Betts. I don't have any difference of opinion there.
Betts wins it, guys. Betts wins this round.
Hey, that's the vote.
That's the vote.
All right.
Melissa.
Melissa didn't chime in.
Yeah.
I think Betts. Yeah.
Okay.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, because he has like a good dude. So like he would do a lot of good stuff for the community and everything. So yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
If you threw in JT Realmuto, I'd probably pick him, to be honest. Catcher, please.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Can we get a catcher?
Trade Betts for a couple catchers, like 8 catchers. Yeah. One has to pan out.
The next generation of guys that are going to get those insane contracts. Tatis is going to probably be one of those. Vladdy will probably end up getting one. Bo's going to get one, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
There's a lot of bright.
All the Blue Jays players, pretty much. All the young studs.
Vladdy, yeah. Ooh, that's going to be a hefty free agent year. Ooh, what are they going to do?
I think they're just going to all get like, okay, we'll give everybody $100 million extension. Take it or leave it.
There you go. There you go. Whoever is smart before the injuries pile up, you never know.
Yeah.
Before there's a new CBA or whatever, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? I know. Hopefully, you guys had fun on this. We're going to try to make this a monthly thing, and during the off season and everything like that. Hopefully, get a couple more people to join us. I'm glad you all did. I mean, this is a pretty good group and
good starting block. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it.
We're working on a few things, but hopefully, you guys enjoy this and. Go Rays, guys! Keep shooting emails, shooting voice memos, shooting DMs and Twitter things to us boomers, and we will gladly always respond to you guys. Okay?
I think Joe gets I think it's awesome that he's there.
Let's give him a little round of applause.
Yeah, that's just awesome, dude.
No, I'm sorry we've kept you up until 2:23 a.m. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
But thank you for making it, everybody. Really, we appreciate it. Chase, Ben,
everybody.
Melissa, Carlos, in my living, Cheryl.
Cheryl, yeah.
Really, thank you guys.
So good to see
Thank you.
everybody. Very cool.
Really cool. Very
Of course.
Yeah.
We'll do it again soon, guys.
So much
Stay in
fun.
touch.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
Good.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.